bring down the balance. In an instant, you see, I had $3,600. So, $3,600. On the, no, it's on the left side. I mean, on the right side. There you go. Operating expenses. Okay, now here we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Detail out just the way we did the catering services, what operating expenses we had. We had what? Salary. Remember, we paid a salary. What else do we have? We had the rent. No. We had salary and what else? Hold on. We had rent. We had a telephone expense, remember? And we also had a supplies expense. So we have to go ahead and put in how much each one was. So how much did we pay out for salaries? $800. If you go back to your spreadsheet, you can see where you paid for that. Then, how much was the rent expense? Or you can go back to your book. $650, right? The telephone bill was how much? $400. He needs a new service provider. And then we had supplies. How much? $300. So now, here, what we're going to write is, now we're going to total up the amount of the expenses. Okay? So we're going to put in the amount of the, we're going to total up the amount of the expenses. And that should be how much? And we're going to put the expenses amount right here on this opposite side. Total this up and we're going to put it over here because we're going to subtract the expenses from our revenue. Okay? How much were our expenses? Anyone? Correct, $2,100, $2,150. Now, when you subtract $2,150 from $3,600, that leaves you with your net income of $1,450. So that's how much money he actually made for the month of November. It doesn't matter how much money he's got in cash. What he's showing is, this is how much money I made in November that I went ahead and I put into the cash account where I already had money in of $20,000, right? But I went ahead and I put some money in, but I'm also showing how much money I took out. So on the month of November, I only made $1,450. Is that enough to live on? No. Not if he doesn't do something about that bill, that phone bill. That's too much money. Unless he's got like a family of 5 or something. I don't know. So that is the net income statement. Okay? Now, remember what we said. From the income statement, we now use that information to do our owner's equity, which is next. So what we're going to do then is the next one shows owner's equity. And what we're going to do is we add then this information. Jannison's capital. So J. Tanson's capital for November the 1st, whatever year. Remember, he started this company. So how much money did he start this company with? What was his capital? $20,000. So we're going to put the amount of the $20,000 again on the right side. Okay? Then we're going to take the net income for the month of November. Okay? And we're going to put it on this left side. And how much money did he end up making? Off of the income statement, he only made what? $1,400. Now, the next we're going to show any withdrawals, the way the format of the owner's equity statement is, any withdrawals for the month of November. How much was that? He took out 160, didn't he? Yes? So you're going to subtract then the $1,450 minus the $160, and you're going to end up with a total that you're going to place there, so that you're going to show then how much money of increase in capital you're going to have. And when you subtract this from this, you end up with how much? $1,290. Good job. So we're going to put in $1,290. This was his increase in capital. Okay? Now remember, owner's equity. This means how much money I actually have invested, and now how much money I have after the month, after I've started up, after actually 2 months, how much I have that I have actually the equity to, how much money I have. So he increased his capital because of the fact that he made money. So he increased his capital by $1,290 because he took money out. This is how much he have. So now it shows that he has an increase. So his total capital then is going to be what? Or yes. 21,290 is the total capital for November the 30th. That's how much money he has. Or equity he has. Equity meaning I have the ability to be able to, or the, what did we say it was before? The right to the capital and to the net income that I made minus the withdrawal that I took. That's how much I have. Okay? This is just a statement now. I'm not saying any that we're changing the account. This is just the statement. Okay? Then from this statement of owner's equity, we now come into the final balance sheet for the month of November. And remember, notice it already has it here. Assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. So we're going to take the information from the chart of accounts and then the owner's equity as well. So we're going to start with assets. We're going to look at the assets that we've got, which is cash, accounts receivable, and office equipment, right? And we're going to bring the totals over. So how much cash did he have at the end of the month? Correct, $18,490. How much do we have in accounts receivable? What was the ending balance? 250. And then for equipment, how much do we have left? Yep, 5,500. Those are his assets. He has cash, accounts receivable, and equipment. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to do what we did for October. Total assets. Total it out. Yep. Now for the opposite side of the equation, liabilities. He has one liability, which is accounts payable. And how much, what was the balance for the accounts payable there? $2,950, right? Then we now have the owner's equity. And the owner's equity, remember, we're now taking off of what? The statement of owner's equity, because it increased. So now we're going to use from our previous statement of owner's equity, we're going to use this amount, not the 20,000 initially invested, because it increased based on our income statement. So we're going to use the 21,290 for the balance sheet. And if we add this and this, we should have total liabilities and owner's equity being the same. Click save once you enter all the information. This is one problem. 2 months of information that we have to do. Okay? 2 months of 2 months of what we've got to do. Now, problem B5 is worked the same way. It's the same way, different numbers. Okay? That's all it is.